Hi, my name is Katie, and I am a pelvic floor physical therapist as well as the owner of ATL Pelvic Health. I am also certified in Pilates through Pulsar Pilates and am currently 12 weeks pregnant. So we are going to start today with some various Pilates strengthening exercises that I've been doing throughout my first trimester. The props you will need today is a Pilates ball if you have it, and we are going to get started on our back with some footwork. So for footwork, I like to have 3 red and a blue. You could also do a green and 2 reds if you want a little bit heavier. And so we're going to lie down on our backs as long as that feels comfortable for you. I've got my headrest down for now. You can also elevate it if you prefer. So let's start with our heels. Actually, let's start with our toes on the bar. Feet together, knees together, arms reaching long by our sides. Notice if you're tucking your pelvis towards the carriage, can you release that tension, keeping your tailbone reaching down towards the carriage, maintaining that small arch in the low part of your back. Rib cage is connected down towards the pelvis. And then we're going to take a nice deep breath in here. And then exhale, lengthen the legs all the way out long. Inhale, pull the carriage all the way in. And then exhale, reach those legs long. Good. Moving in and out here at your own pace. I like to exhale as I reach long. Inhale as I release. Noticing if my pelvis is rocking. Can I keep it still as I move in and out? You've got 4 more here. Last 3. And 2. Last 1. Bring the carriage all the way in. Come onto the arches of your feet. Wrap those toes over the foot bar. Heels are reaching underneath the foot bar. Legs are still glued together. Inhaling to begin. And then exhaling, press. Again, reaching those legs long. Making sure that you're still breathing in and out. Inhale in. Exhale out. Can you lengthen your legs more to bring the carriage all the way in? We've got 3 more here. Last 2. And 1. Bring the carriage all the way home. Walk your feet up so that your heels are on the foot bar this time. Feet about hip bone width apart, a little bit of space between the knees. Pull those toes back towards your face. Start with an inhale and then exhale, reach those legs long. Inhale, release the carriage all the way home. Picking up the tempo a little bit here. Pressing those legs out long. Pulling your heels towards your sit bones to bring the carriage in. Resisting those springs in as much as you're controlling the springs out. We've got 3 more here. Last 2. And 1. Good. Now I like to bring my feet out wide to those corners of the foot bar. Knees are going to open up slightly. Hips are externally rotated. You're going to press the carriage out long and then drag the carriage in. Good. Staying connected with your breath as you move in and out. We've got 4 more here. Last 3. And 2. On this last one, you're going to hold your legs lengthened. Rotate those toes in towards one another. The thighs are spiraling inwards. Bring the carriage in. Knees will come together. Rotate open. Press the carriage out. Knees come in. Bring the carriage home. So we're working into a little bit of hip internal and external rotation. This is something that we focus on throughout all of pregnancy as we're helping people prepare for a vaginal birth. We want good hip mobility, good openness through the pelvis. Any tightness in the hips can also lead to tightness in the pelvic floor. Pause in this next one out, and then we're going to reverse the direction. So you're going to stay rotated externally as you bring the carriage in. Turn those knees in towards one another. Press the carriage out. Good. You've got 4 more here. Still breathing, last 3. And 2. Last 1. And come in. Next, we're going to sit up and we're going to change our settings and move into some feet and straps. So for feet and straps, I like to use 2 red. You can lay back down onto your back, reach for your straps behind you, press those legs long, bring one foot into the strap, and then bring the other foot to meet it. Again, feet and straps, we're focusing on some good hip and pelvic stability. Starting with those legs reaching up towards the ceiling, try not to let your hips lift off the carriage. So keep your tailbone anchored down. Find that starting point where you can no longer keep your tailbone on the carriage. Taking a nice deep breath in, and then I like to exhale as I reach my legs long towards the foot bar. And then inhale, lengthen the legs back up towards the ceiling. Moving the legs up and down in space, noticing if you can keep the shape of your spine still, not feeling an increase in arch in the low back as the legs lower, and not feeling that back round into the carriage as you lift the legs up towards the ceiling. Good. Pausing at the top, moving into some circles, open those legs wide, reach the legs long around and together. Reach up, open the legs, sweep the legs together using those inner thigh muscles. We've got 2 more here. On this next one, bring those legs together at the top, reverse the direction of the circles, reach down and together, open wide out to the side and around. Good, we've got 3 more in this direction. Keep breathing as you move, noticing how still you can keep your pelvis as you circle the legs. Bring those legs all the way together. On the last one, reach them long on a 45-degree angle this time and go into some frogs. Inhaling as you bend your knees in towards your chest, exhaling, reach long. Can you feel your core connect deeper each time you lengthen your legs into the straps? Can you grow 1 inch longer? Can you keep tension on the straps as you bend your knees into your chest and as you reach the legs long? We've got 2 more here. Last one. And then bend your knees all the way in. We're going to take those straps off of your feet. You can bring your feet back onto the foot bar and then hook those straps behind you. If you've got your ball nearby, you can grab your ball for some bridging. For bridging, I like to do this on 3 red springs. So you can add a spring here so that you're on 3 reds. 2 reds and a blue would be a little bit more challenging. You could even go down to 2 reds. During pregnancy, I like to have a little bit more stability and support with my spring tension so that we're not getting any low back pain or hip pain. Make sure if your headrest is up to lower your headrest all the way flat to not create any tension in the neck. And then place your Pilates ball in between your knees. We're going to gently press our knees in together on the ball. Arms are reaching long by your side. Take a nice deep breath in. And then as you exhale, we're going to curl your spine, rotating your pubic bone up towards your belly button, and then begin to peel your spine off the mat 1 vertebrae at a time. Reaching those knees long towards the toes. Pause at the top of your bridge with a nice inhale. And then as you exhale, can you lower your upper back first, then your middle back, then your lower back, and then tailbone is heavy. Good. The goal here is to keep the carriage still, taking a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, zipping up through those inner thighs. Imagine like you're drinking a thick smoothie through a straw coming out of your vagina. Start engaging the pelvic floor. Continue that exhale as you lift up into your bridge. Pause at the top of your bridge with a nice deep breath in. And then as you exhale, you're going to melt your spine down 1 vertebrae at a time. Good. We've got 3 more like this. Inhaling first. And then exhale, scoop and round. Peel your spine up, 1 vertebrae at a time. Pause at the top for a nice deep breath in. And then exhale, melt all the way down. Inhaling first. Challenge yourself. How still can you keep the carriage as you tilt the pelvis back? Dig those heels into the foot bar. Think about reaching those heels towards your sit bones to really fire up your hamstrings. Keep that gentle squeeze on the ball. And then last one here. Inhale first. Exhale, scoop and round. And then come all the way up to your bridge. Pause at the top, inhale. And then exhale, melt down, 1 vertebrae at a time. Good, you can set your ball off to the side now. And we're gonna move into some supine arms. So for supine arms, I like to do 1 red and 1 blue spring. So you can take off your 2 reds, add a blue, and then lay back down. Reach behind for your straps. If you've got different loops, I like to use the small loops for supine arms. If you're feeling like that's too much tension, you can always go to your big loops. Shimmy down so that you have a little bit of space underneath the shoulder blades so you can be wide across the collarbones. Press into the straps so that your hands are directly over the shoulders. Hold tension on the straps as you march 1 leg to tabletop. Bring the opposite leg to meet it. Pause here. Notice if your low back is arching off of the carriage. Can you connect your rib cage onto the carriage, your tailbone reaching long onto the carriage, but keep that small space underneath the low back? And then we're going to take a nice deep breath in, and then as we exhale, we're going to sweep the arms down towards the hips. And then inhale, float back up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, reach long. And then inhale, lift up. Good, let's do 4 more here. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1, and then we're going to move into some circles. Float the arms up towards the ceiling. Open the arms out to the side. Sweep the arms down towards the hips, and then reach back up towards the ceiling. 4 more in this direction. Keep breathing as you move. Make sure that your knees are stacked right over your hips so you're not pulling your knees in towards your chest, but we're keeping those knees stacked right over the hips and pelvis so that you're feeling some nice, good core engagement, even though this exercise is called supine arms. And then let's reverse the direction of the circle. Press down, open the arms out to the side, sweep up, around, back up towards the ceiling. Good, you've got 4 more here. Last 3. And 2. And 1. Keep those arms reaching long, hovering just off of the carriage. Bend at the elbows for a tricep press and reach long. We've got 6. And 5. Stay wide across the collarbones, open across the chest. Think about pressing with the pinky side edge of your hand. Last 3. And 2. And 1. Good. And then we'll float the arms up towards the ceiling. Lower 1 foot down onto the foot bar. Bring the other foot to meet it, and then you can bend your arms, hook your straps onto the pegs. Next, we're going to go into some side foot leg. Next, we're going to go into some side lying footwork. So for this, I like to put on 2 reds. We'll take off the blue spring. Keeping your shoulder rests flat, you're going to bend your elbow, and I like to place that forearm in between the hook and the shoulder block. Both knees are going to start bent. Your top leg is going to come up Foot is going to come onto the foot bar. Foot is going to be parallel, bringing it towards the front edge of that foot bar, keeping the knee in line with the foot and ankle, in line with the hip. So we don't want the knee falling down towards the bottom leg. Top arm can be resting in front of you like a kickstand on the carriage. Core is engaged, taking a nice deep breath in. Exhale, press the leg long, reaching through the heel, and then control the carriage back in. Starting to fire up those side glutes, those outer hips. This is really important for us to work during pregnancy. As our body continues to change and shift, our posture is going to change, and we require a lot of strength from our core and our hips and our pelvis to keep us out of pain. So when we start to think about tailbone pain, hip pain, SI joint pain, pubic bone pain, all of those different things that can pop up during pregnancy, while they are common, they're not normal. And by continuing to strengthen these outer hips, we can hopefully mitigate some of those symptoms. Really reaching the leg long. The last one here. Then bring the carriage all the way in. You're going to rotate your foot open so that your knee is now reaching up towards the ceiling. Hips are staying stacked. So I don't want your hip to roll back. Hips are staying stacked on top of one another, and we're going to press out. And control back in. Good. First 6. Last 5. And 4. Last 3. And 2. And 1. Nicely done. Bring the carriage all the way in, and then we're going to rotate and do the other side. So same setup here. Top arm is going to be reaching in front of you like a kickstand. You're going to be resting on your bottom arm. Elbow can be on the headrest. And then my forearm ends up between the shoulder blocks and the peg. Top leg will come onto the foot bar. You really root and ground through your heel. So if you have any tightness in your calves and your toes are on the foot bar, but you can't get your heel down, walk your foot forward so that you can be connected through your heel. Make sure that top leg is parallel to the bottom leg. We're going to start with an inhale and then exhale, reach out long. And then inhale, control the carriage in. Exhale, reach. And inhale, guide the carriage back in. Good. Let's do 5 more here. Making sure your hips are staying stacked on top of one another. You're not letting your top hip roll back as you press in and out. Last 2. Last 1. Bring the carriage all the way in. Rotate your heel and toes open towards the ceiling. Knee is now reaching up towards the ceiling. Hips are staying stacked. Exhale as you press out. Inhale, control the carriage in. Good. Really lengthening through that leg. Feeling some work in that outer glute. We've got 5 more here. Last 4. 3. 2. And 1. Bring the carriage all the way in. Good. From here, we're going to change our springs to 1 red and 1 blue. And we're going to come onto our knees facing the back of the reformer. So facing the back of the reformer, we're going to start with our hands on our shoulder blocks. You're going to bring your right foot up onto the foot bar. Heel is connected onto the foot bar. You're going to start with an inhale, and then as you exhale, you're going to press that leg long. And then inhale as you control back in. Exhale, reach, keeping your pelvis stable. Imagine like you're balancing a cup of water on top of your pelvis. Really rooting through the heel so that you can connect with the glutes and hamstrings. We've got 5 more here. Last 4. And 3. Last 2. and 1. Nicely done. Bring the carriage all the way in. Bring that right knee underneath you. If you need to give your wrist a break, you can sit back towards your heels, roll out your wrist, and then when you're ready, we'll come back up onto the shoulder blocks. This time, left heel is reaching for the foot bar. Inhaling first, exhaling, drawing those hip bones towards one another to engage the core as you press along through your left leg. Keeping both hip bones pointing down towards the mat. Really reaching through that leg so you can connect with the glute and the hamstring. We've got 4 more here. Good. And then bring the carriage all the way in. Reach back. We're going to take off 1 blue spring, so you're now on 1 red spring, and we're going to go into some reverse abdominals. So during pregnancy, I love to continue working on core strengthening, especially during the first 2 trimesters when we need a lot of that support as our body is changing. Doing exercises on our hands and knees or in that tall kneeling position can be a really great supportive way throughout pregnancy. So 1 red spring can be a little bit heavy for reverse abdominals. So if you feel like you want to go a little bit lighter, you could do 1 blue or even 1 yellow. When setting up for reverse abdominals, I like to bring my fist up against the shoulder blocks so that my knees are about fist width from the shoulder blocks. Walk your hands forward on the frame. And then your thighs are going to be reaching forward. So you're going to shift your body weight forward so that your thighs are resting on the shoulder blocks. We're going to start moving just the upper body first. So walk your hands a little bit more forward in front of your shoulders. Keep your lower body still. Take a nice deep breath in. And then as you exhale, pull your body forward in space using the muscles from your armpits to your pelvis, your lats, and then release the carriage home. Inhale first, exhale, pelvic floor lifts as you drag your body forward, and then release back home. Let's do 3 more here. Nice job, looking so strong. Last 2. And last 1. Bring the carriage all the way in. You can sit your hips back for a nice child's pose stretch. And then when you're ready, we'll walk your hands back out. This time, your upper body's going to stay still. Take a nice deep breath in, and then as you exhale, you're going to round your spine, pull your knees towards your chest, and then release the carriage home with control. Exhale, imagine like you're doing a cannonball in a pool. Feeling those lower abdominals start to engage. We've got 3 more here. Inhale first. Exhale, pull in. Last 2. And then last 1. Good. Let's sit back one more time into some child's pose stretch. Reaching those arms forward. And then come back onto your hands and knees. This time, let's bring your hands just right underneath your shoulders to finish with some cat-cow. So we're going to inhale, lengthen the spine, gaze forward. Exhale, drop your head, round your spine up towards the ceiling, gaze towards your belly button. Inhale as you lengthen. Exhale as you scoop and round. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, lengthen. And then exhale, scoop and round. Last one here. Inhale, lengthen. Reach the tailbone up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, scoop and round. Good. We're going to finish with some standing glute work. So we're going to finish with scooter and a standing hip stretch. For scooter, I like to do 1 red and 1 blue spring. You're going to stand on the right side of your reformer with your right foot on the ground. Hands are going to come onto the foot bar to start. Left foot is going to come up against the shoulder block. This is level 1. So we're going to start here. Slight bend in your right knee. Hips are square and level. So I don't want to see your hips dropping. Your left knee should be hovering off of the carriage. Hands are here on the foot bar for balance, and you're just going to press back, lengthen the leg long, and then control the carriage back in. If this is feeling really easy for you, you can always take your hands off the foot bar. I like to have my hands on my hips. You can also reach your hands in front of you. Thinking about really pressing through the heel, lengthening through the back leg. You've got 2 more here. Last one. Bring the carriage all the way in. Reach down, take off your blue spring. Bring the hands onto the foot bar. Extend the left leg long. Bend through the right knee. So you really start to feel a nice stretch through the front of the left thigh. And then straighten both legs as far as you can until you can no longer bring the carriage home, and then bend your left knee, bring the carriage all the way in. Let's do that one more time. Press out with the left leg. Bend through the right. Hold here. Take a nice deep breath in. Straighten both legs to bring the carriage as far home as you can, and then bend the left knee. You can reach down, place that blue spring back on, and then we'll walk over to the other side of our reformer. Starting with scooter first, hands start on the foot bar. Reach your right foot back up against the shoulder block. Again, hips are square and level, so we're not dipping to the side. Right knee is hovering off of the carriage. Start with that nice press back, and then bend the knee in. Good, really lengthening through the leg. Making sure you're still breathing. We've got 3 more here. Option to always take your hands off of the foot bar, challenging your balance and your stability a bit more. Once you finish that last one, bring the carriage all the way in. Reach down, take off your blue spring. Reach your hands to the foot bar, press back with the right leg. Bend through the left knee. Hold here. And then straighten with both legs, and then bring your right knee in to bring the carriage home. One more time here, press back with the right leg. Lunge deep as you bend the left knee. Hold. And then straighten through both legs, bring the right leg home. And that is it for our first trimester Pilates series exercise. Please stay tuned for more exercises as I progress throughout my pregnancy. I'm super excited to be on this journey with you guys and sharing some ways that I am keeping my body moving and pain-free throughout each trimester. So you can follow along at ATL Pelvic Health